Has there ever been a time when Apple didn't say that pre-orders were fantastic and super strong?
So, yes, in fact, a year ago, Apple said orders were fantastic and super strong, but they gave us a number. They said between 4 and 6 million phones were sold over the course of the initial weekend. At least orders were taken. So a lot of people were sitting around waiting for this number today, saying, what's the number going to be? Exactly how many phones did you sell, Apple? Will you tell us? They didn't tell us. They said super strong. Or strong is what they told Bloomberg News, but they did not give us a hard number. And so you have all kinds of people across Wall Street, analysts and beyond, trying to figure out just what this phone would do. And I think one of the clues, one of the most important clues, is the map, is where they're selling this phone, where they're offering this phone for sale. Yes, and there's a lot of excitement about the new iPhone 6s and the 6s Plus, but with some minor tweaks, I'll call them, to both software and hardware. But I think the most interesting thing about the way they're selling this phone is where they're selling it. If you look at the global map, the biggest difference is that this time Apple has decided to sell this phone in China on day one. It took pre-orders in China over the course of the weekend, and on day one, when this phone ships in September 25, when you look at that map, the biggest difference this year is that it's for sale in China.
So it's not even a like-for-like comparison, although the first rule of writing for Bloomberg Television, as Scarlett knows, is don't use adjectives. Just give us the number.
I'm sorry, I said super strong. I should have just said strong.
It's just strong. Or just better yet, a number.
A number.
Well,
a number tell the story. But, Cory, I do have an actual question. What are you learning from suppliers about how strong this shipments for this new phone might be?
So I think one of the most important things really is going to be actually about the sort of what they did last time and how it's going to compare this time. If you look at year-over-year sales growth, I'm sorry, the dependence that they had in China in particular grew dramatically when the iPhone 6 Plus and 6s were released. They were growing in China, to be sure, but the company's reliance on sales into China, in fact, became well over 20% of sales in the most recent quarter. And the year-over-year sales growth also fantastic for this company. Looking at 35% year-over-year sales. The problem is, can they top that or come anywhere near that? Wall Street's expecting a 20% growth, more or less, in the fourth quarter in terms of sales overall. But it looks like sales of this iPhone will be closer to single-digit growth year-over-year. So they're definitely in a tough spot, meeting those very strong estimates from the analysts on Wall Street.
Cory, Gene Munster of Piper Jaffray putting out a note following the release of Apple's description of strong orders, saying that we believe pre-orders are indication of demand, certainly, but it really reflects or is driven more by production than anything else, which makes it difficult to actually figure out demand. What do we know about the production of the iPhone this time around?
So I love me some Gene Munster. Great analyst, is really good work. But just last week, he said if they don't give us the number on Monday, it's a sign that the number is not going to be bigger. But in his note out a few hours ago, he said the number is going to be bigger, even though they didn't give us that number. So he's absolutely right that it is production constrained in the beginning, and it makes it hard to figure out what the demand constraints are going to be into the fourth quarter, making that fourth quarter even more crucial for Apple. But selling that phone in China on the first day and in the third quarter, the third calendar quarter, is going to be a benefit to Apple. I think that one that people might not have been counting on initially, but the fourth quarter is going to be a great big mystery.